You know what betrayal feels like. It doesn't always come like a knife in the back. Sometimes it sneaks in wearing the faces of the people you thought loved you most. For me, it came with the sound of fists pounding on my front door, my own mother screaming, "If you don't open this door, I'll call the police." Police. Against me. Her own son. But maybe I should start at the beginning. My name is Samuel Torres, I'm 32, and 6 months ago I thought I had it all figured out. I worked 10 brutal years as a financial analyst, late nights, cold coffee, weekends blurred into spreadsheets, but every sacrifice led to one thing, my house. Not just any house. The house I'd been dreaming of since I was a kid, trapped in a cramped apartment, promising myself that one day I'd wake up in a place that was mine. When I finally signed those papers, when the keys touched my palm, it felt like freedom itself. A wide terrace where I could sip morning coffee while the sun melted through the trees. An office where my work finally had a place to breathe. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and silence, the kind of silence that heals you. But peace doesn't last long when your family decides your dream home is actually theirs. It started small. A housewarming party. My parents showed up with my sister Melissa, her husband, and their 2 kids, Evan and Lily. They smiled, they praised me, they toasted my success. But then Melissa leaned close, scanning the high ceilings like a predator eyeing prey, and said, "Honestly, Samuel, this place is too big for one person. A family with kids could really use all this space." I laughed it off. I shouldn't have. That was the first warning sign. Fast forward to Christmas. I hosted, because of course I did. I cooked, decorated, made my house warm and welcoming. And I watched my family sprawl across the couches, sip wine on the terrace, and say, "This feels like home. Open it or I'll call the police." And she did. 20 minutes later, 2 officers stood on my porch while my family crowded behind them, looking betrayed, as if I were the criminal. The officer asked, "Is this your house, sir?" "Yes." My voice shook, but I said it. "I own it. And I don't want them inside." He nodded once. "Then they need to leave." The gasp that rose behind him was almost comical. My father's face hardened. My mother hissed, "You'll regret this." And one by one, they left, dragging their outrage with them. But the war didn't end there. That night, my phone exploded. My mother filled the family group chat with her version of the story. By midnight, cousins, aunts, uncles, even people I hadn't spoken to in years, were calling me heartless, cruel, a monster who called the police on his own family. No one cared that it wasn't true. No one cared about my boundaries, my sanity, my home. That was the moment I realized something brutal. In my family's eyes, I wasn't a son, or a brother. I was a resource. A house with a free backyard. A kitchen that never closed. A life meant to serve theirs. So I walked away. I called my realtor. I sold my dream house. And I moved 3 states away, closer to the only friend who ever respected my space. I bought a new home, this time with a gate, a taller fence, and neighbors who mind their own business. And sometimes, when I sit by the pool in my backyard, I wonder if my family even realizes what they lost. The truth is, boundaries aren't selfish. They're survival. And if the people who claim to love you can't respect them, then they don't love you. They love what you can give. So tell me, what would you have done in my place? Would you have opened the door? Or slammed it shut like I finally did? Those words should have chilled me. Instead, they filled me with pride. And then came the birthday. Melissa's son, Evan, was turning 8. My mom called, all cheerful, "Sweetheart, Melissa wants to throw a party. 15 kids, maybe more. Her place is too small, so we'll do it at yours." My stomach dropped. No. Absolutely not. But Mom kept pushing. My backyard was perfect, those rental venues were expensive, and family helps family. Against my better judgment, I gave in. That day, my sanctuary became a war zone. Mud tracked through the halls. Chocolate handprints smeared across the walls. Kids jumping on my couch, running through my bedroom, tearing apart my office. Melissa barely looked up from her phone. And when it was finally over, when I stood in the wreckage, my carpet crushed with crackers, my backyard littered with toys, I asked her to clean like we agreed. She just smiled and said, "You don't have kids, Samuel. You'll manage." And then she left. That night, I paid $900 to have professionals scrub my house back to life. When I asked Melissa to cover it, the family chat exploded. Selfish. Greedy. Kids make messes, Samuel. Even my father typed, "I'm disappointed in you. Family should come first." I swallowed my anger. I let it go. That was my mistake. Because soon, the unannounced visits began. Saturday mornings. Always Saturday. Cars pulling into my driveway, doors slamming, voices rising before I even had time to change out of my pajamas. My parents. Melissa. The kids. Sometimes extended family I hadn't seen in years. And they never asked. They just walked in. Ate my food. Rearranged my kitchen. Took over my living room. Destroyed my weekends. Every time I said no, I was told I was cold. Ungrateful. Lonely. And then came the day I didn't open the door. I stayed silent as the knocking grew louder, as voices sharpened into commands. "We know you're in there, Samuel. Your car's outside." My mother's fists rattled the door.